Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Combat Wrestling Network. I am your host today with my brother and my co-host, JB3. I am AD Nasty. That's what I have to say. JB, take it away, brother.
What's going on, y'all? Combatants, get with me. I'm telling you right now, combatants. I hope you're watching right now. This is the Raw and SmackDown breakdown, but today it's going to be a little bit different because we're starting with SmackDown. Why? Well, you'll see why. In my opinion, SmackDown was better, so we're going to talk about the best parts of SmackDown right now. This is going to be fast-paced, y'all, because we got some things to talk about, and we are not very happy with Raw and SmackDown. Let's just say that. We're not that mad at SmackDown. It's more, yeah. So, number one, SmackDown Live. I want to talk about Kofi Kingston. So WrestleMania weekend was here. We have WrestleMania. Everyone knows the feel-good moments on all 17 hours of WrestleMania. Felt like okay, I just want to put this in there real quick. Anyone who's listening, agree with me now. I heard someone say this, someone on Wrestling Observer. I agree. I think WrestleMania should be a 2-night event. Just imagine if the first half of WrestleMania ended with Kofi Kingston beating Daniel Bryan in the main event, feel-good moment, and then the second half of WrestleMania, they had everything happen, and then they had Becky Lynch win. That, to me, would have been better than having all those hours because it ended at like 1 in the morning almost. So that's a whole nother story. This is not a WrestleMania breakdown. Everyone knows what happened in WrestleMania. It was a great feel-good moment. Becky Lynch, double champ. You got a bunch of new champions. Seth Rollins slayed the Beast. He's now the Beast Slayer. Kofi Kingston beat Daniel Bryan. And that's what I want to talk about first in SmackDown is Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan. He beat him, was the WWE champion now. And when he came out on SmackDown, it was time to celebrate with the New Day. They had a big celebration, the big balloons in the ring. It was awesome. I liked it. It was great. They were having a good time. But then the bar came out. Boo! Ugh. So they came out.
At what point are we gonna get tired of seeing the bar?
I don't know. I like them, but damn.
I like them too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So this, honestly, I think WWE is taking these shows as a joke now, but it was a good moment. Kofi came out. He was celebrating, and then they came out the bar, and then they brought out Drew McIntyre. And it just was there to set up the big 6-man tag main event at the end of the show. I think it was the end of the show. To be honest with you, I don't remember what the main event was. I was so tired. It was too much wrestling. It was either that or what we're going to talk about last. So in my mind, it wasn't. We're not going to talk about it last. It was just on the show. But yeah, they had the 6-man tag, and it was a good match. Didn't really do too much. They didn't, they don't really use too much time on TV matches. It was like a normal episode, normal TV match. Trouble in Paradise to Sheamus, really good one, 1, 2, 3, and there it is. It was the winner.
Samoa Joe cut a sick promo.
Yeah, Samoa Joe cut a really sick promo. So at WrestleMania, he beat Rey Mysterio in 1 minute, and after that, he came out on SmackDown and said, "Hey,
Hey, real quick, I'll cut you off. Shout out to Rey Mysterio for going out there and performing hurt, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Rey. Yeah, I'll get better. Get well, Ray.
Better soon, brother.
We know you're listening.
Somebody got it.
A nasty promo, basically called everybody out like he always does. Like, get some, come get some. I'm the one up in here. Ain't nobody can touch me. Get some. I'm right here.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see him healthy too. He spent a lot of time on the shelf, hurt back and forth from on IR. To see him come back, be dominant, get put over by Ray, and start being Samoa Joe again. Start being that mean. He never lost his mean streak, but to see him backed up by a couple of good wins and his confidence sort of getting back, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and plus he pinned Ray, he submitted Ray, and then he submitted R-Truth, and that kind of like closes the last story out with the U.S. title. So now he can move on to bigger things. I don't know if it's going to be Braun. It might be Braun. It might not be Braun. We don't know.
Moving on to bigger things, Braun Strowman is a pretty big thing.
I want Samoa Joe to hold that title for a long, long time.
Yeah.
speaking of holding titles for a long, long time, there's another tag team that I want to hold the titles for a long time. And it's because of what they did on SmackDown. It's the IIconics. They did something so amazing to me. You don't see that anymore. It brought me back to like not it. It was like a parody of a squash match.
Yeah,
And
like it brought me back to like the time of like the late 80s, early 90s, when a team would bring out a set of jobbers that nobody heard about and then squash them.
right, but they switched the game up because normally they make the jobbers look kind of like, you're just a job, you're just a local talent. But they built them up like they were the best team in the world.
Where they say 45 and 0.
Yeah, that was the best thing. And then they just celebrated afterwards. It was so awesome. And then Paige, she was watching. She says she's got a tag team she's going to be bringing. So I'm excited for that. That might be one of the things I'm.
That would be? Honestly, can I be real with you?
Yeah,
I think it's the Sky Pirates.
It could be. Why Paige though?
Because Paige has nothing to do.
Right, but I just mean like, you know,
why would she bring them out? You know, she's the first real big female NXT star. A lot of people forget that because due to the injury. But Paige is the one that opened the door for the 4 horsewomen. Paige is the one that, you know, the evolution was really built behind. So I could see them using Paige as the gateway, so to speak, for the next NXT women's crop. She's gonna be the one that's gonna be like, oh, you know, you people are real comfortable here. Deal with these two, or I got somebody for you. And instead of being like a general manager, I think she's gonna be more like talent relation, like a midway point between NXT and the SmackDown brand.
No, that would be cool. But what I really mean is like, well, okay, when she came out, when she brought Absolution out, right? She had a history of Mandy. She had a history with Sonya. It like made sense.
Yeah, that's
cool. If they were going to be there. I don't know, like the Sky Pirates. I mean, I think it would be cool, and they could maybe find a way to tie it together. I just don't see a way now, like a connection. But besides, you know, her being in NXT, but that could be said with any tag team from NXT.
Yeah,
I'm excited though.
I honestly think that it's a case of I think they're gonna try to split Mandy and Sonya up or start a feud there, even though they were working together at WrestleMania and they didn't look like there was any kind of friction in the group. I also think that the main event, not the main event, the match that they were supposed to have was a triple threat with Asuka. Asuka was supposed to beat them both, and that was going to send them into a downward spiral. So for Paige to bring them, even though she brought them out as Absolution, but then again, you're right. Maybe they squashed that whole angle. The reason why they were working so well together at WrestleMania is because they're going to, instead of being Fire Desire, Paige will be their manager. She's going to make them Absolution again.
Something.
That Fire Desired name, let's be honest. I didn't see any signs for it. I didn't see a T-shirt for it. It is something they try to give themselves, and it's stuck like, I don't know, like a command hook without the glue. That's how it's stuck. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Moving on.
So we talked a lot about the women's tag team division. We're going to bring SmackDown to a close. I know it's short, but like I said, you guys want to go watch SmackDown? Watch SmackDown.
Oh, we forgot one thing about SmackDown. Something I feel like you think is very important. The Hardy Boyz beat the Usos for the tag team championships.
That's what I was just about to bring up. Yeah, the tag team division on SmackDown has been decent. I love the Usos. They're one of my favorite tag teams. I think they're possibly the best tag teams. And man, during this match, the super kicks, they were laying them in. I love the Hardys, man. But I think about it, like, I want the Usos. I'd be like, keep the titles. But like the Hardys are that tag team that even though they've been in the game for 25 years, I mean, look, Matt Hardy can still take a shirt off and the ladies will scream. Like, come on. Like, that's crazy. So them winning doesn't upset me. They're 8-time tag team champions now. It's transcendent that they are. It's the best thing that happened on SmackDown. I'm looking forward to them on SmackDown. I'm looking forward to the tag division. You got them, you got the Usos, you got the Bar, but Superstar Shakeup next week, so you never really know.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a whole different show that next week. Then we're gonna have it's gonna be a big show next week.
Yeah, and I'll address that after we discuss Raw.
Yeah, SmackDown Live was a good show for a SmackDown. For a regular, I wouldn't say it was great for a Raw or a SmackDown after WrestleMania. I didn't feel that much of that vibe. I felt that vibe. We'll talk about it. I felt that vibe for a little bit, but it went away, and we'll talk about when it went away. But that was SmackDown. SmackDown was SmackDown, and what do you say, man? What do you say from a scale of 1 to 5?
We all know what 1 is. We all know what 5 is. SmackDown. I'll give SmackDown a solid 3.2.
3.2. You know, I was thinking the same thing. 3.2.
All right. We're
on over to
in sync there.
Flipping onto the other side.
Oh, real quick, hey, everybody out there, put it in the comments below. Rate the shows with us. 1 to 5. 1 is herpes. 5 is the best hand job you ever got in your life. Unless you're not into that thing, then 5 are unicorns and puppies. Whatever you're into. Yeah, we all know nobody likes herpes. All right. Yeah, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Get this out there. Let everybody be part of the conversation. And, don't be a deadbeat. Speaking of deadbeats, Dead Man returns to Raw.
Yeah, so this was when I felt the big vibe when this isn't. So this is what happened. Here's the segment. You guys, if you watched Raw, you've seen Elias come out. Elias has been cracking me up, man. I can't get enough of Elias. So he goes out there, he starts talking, and he says, "Oh, the Doctor of Thugonomics, by the way, WrestleMania, Doctor of Thugonomics came back and cut a freestyle on Elias and then did his thing, F you. He called it the F you. It was pretty cool. So Elias says, anybody can do that. All you have to do is say rhyming words. And he therefore starts freestyling. It was actually okay. I mean, he is a musician and an artist. If you want to believe that he could do something like that, he did. And he ended it by saying something about a fan. And then he said, if anybody wants to cross me,
you'll
be a dead man. And then they waited 3 seconds maybe. And then the crowd was just the whole Barclays Center was just and then therefore we got to hear well, the Undertaker come out with his gigantic dong. And it was pretty cool. The Undertaker always has a really cool, really long entrance. So I went and got some food, drove to Wendy's. I came back.
Hey, he was still walking to the break.
Yeah, I came back. I went down. I did a load of laundry, and then went back to the TV, and he was halfway to the ring. So, it was cool. Honestly, the Undertaker looks like he's in incredible shape. He looks so good. I don't even know what to say about it. I thought he was going to be a broken down man, but chokeslam, tombstone. See you later.
I think we have to agree to disagree. I think he looked okay. I don't really think. I think the fact that he lost 30 pounds and is trying to get heal his body back up is obviously a benefit.
Well, he looked trash at Crown Jewel. So compared to that, he looks
he looked phenomenal. Then you want to compare Undertaker Crown Jewel to Undertaker of last night? Then it's night and day. Herpes and hand jobs. You know what I mean?
Well, shoot, that was the last time we seen him. So kudos to him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And speaking of kudos, we got Becky 2 belts, huh?
Becky 2 belts came out on Raw, and we didn't mention her on SmackDown because we're going to kind of combine this together. Becky 2 belts comes out to a huge pop. No mention whatsoever of the botch or the supposed botch or whatever you want to call it. No mention at all. Becky come out. She got cheered. Everyone chanting Becky Two Belts, singing her music. It's all great. It's all fun.
Botch.
Yeah. She comes up. She talks. She's talking. It's just typical promo stuff. She was talking about, Ronnie, you little weirdo. Telling her she can come back and get a shot whenever she wants. Talked about Charlotte. She said they'll probably just give Charlotte the tag team titles or something. That was funny. And then Lacey Evans' music hits, and she comes out. Dun, 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 dun. And then she comes out. She does this like her 13th, 14th time doing this. She arrives, she does her, and she goes away. But this time, she gives her the woman's right. Pow! Punches Becky Lynch right in the face. Becky Lynch she turns around, kind of sells it, kind of no-sells it. I don't know. That was her finisher, right?
She no-sold that.
And then she turned around and they started fighting. And actually, Lacey Evans looked good, like brawling with Becky Lynch, because she's a former Marine, I believe, or Air Force or something. So she's a former
Marine military cop.
Yeah. So yeah, she looks like she could whoop some ass. So her and Becky are going out. It was fresh. I actually enjoyed it. And after they did that, SmackDown, same thing. Becky comes out. She says, anybody in the locker room wants some, come get some. Lacey Evans comes back out. Actually, no. Actually, Becky's coming up the ramp. This time when she hit the woman's right on SmackDown, it was a sucker punch. As soon as Becky turned around, at that time, Becky was rolling down the ramp. She could barely get back up. That's all she did. And then she was just I like it. I'm cool with it. To be honest with you, man, after the Royal Rumble, she kind of looked bad. And then after she kept walking out, I was like, she looks good. It's okay. I don't know, whatever. I was indifferent about it.
Mm-hmm.
But after everything that she did with Becky and how fresh it is, I'm just glad. I'm glad. I like it. I like it. I hope that she's not going to beat her, obviously. I don't. But I think it'd be something that'd make her look good. So far, so good. What do you think?
I'm in the opposite spot. I was indifferent to the walkouts. I thought the Royal Rumble thing couldn't be overlooked. Especially, she had a decent showing at the Rumble. Everybody holds that first minute and a half against her because of the kip up, and there was a couple little mistiming things. I also think she was in the ring with Natty, who can make anybody look bad. If Natty wants to wrestle clean and at the top of her game, she can make you look like shit. You know what I mean? So I won't hold that against Lacey. The whole walking out thing, like you said, I was very indifferent to, and then I stopped caring, and then I started getting annoyed with it. So, did I enjoy watching Becky scrap with somebody who wasn't Charlotte or Ronda? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I want it to be Lacey Evans? No. I believe that is something you should earn, and walking up and down a ramp, right, doesn't earn you shit, in my book, my opinion.
I have one rebuttal to that. So I look at it from the mentality like this. After WrestleMania, it's a fresh start. We got the Superstar Shakeup coming down. Becky's going to be on both shows. I know that they booked it in the way, but if I'm thinking about kayfabe here, I think this is real, right? I don't know what none of it is. This is real to me, okay? And I'm thinking about it.
Your first name's Mark.
Lacey Evans reminded me of that person who walks up into the school and who looks at the biggest, the toughest, the most badass one and says, I'm going to go pick a fight with them because they want to be the baddest. So the first thing they do is they walk right up to him and they punch him right in the face. That's how you do it. In my mind, that's what she was thinking. That if I want the champ, I'm going to walk up to her and I'm going to punch her right in her face. And then we'll see what's up. Okay. I get that she didn't earn it. That's true. She didn't. But she knows that. So she's like, what can I do? Well, she can go and she can stop. I mean, that is her woman's right. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just in another mind of
I
it.
know, I feel what you're saying though. You know, you're absolutely right. She didn't earn it in the sense that she doesn't have the win-loss record, even though WWE don't care about that kind of shit.
Mhm.
You know, she don't have the win-loss record. You know, she hasn't even had a match. You know, and she
Not
might not
even a
get one.
marquee
But
match. Not even a
we'll
marquee
see.
match.
So
Yep. Well,
yeah,
speaking of returns,
yes,
return of Alexa Bliss to action, and Sami Zayn brings himself back.
yep. So with the Alexa Bliss thing, everyone, I don't know if she was injured or not or what was going on, but when she came back, so two things to note about this. She came back and she basically squashed Bayley.
Yeah.
However, Bayley was showing a really weird side to her. She was fighting differently. She tried to hold the ropes at one point, kind of. I don't know if she was doing it for leverage or she was trying. I don't think she was trying to cheat, but Bayley looked different. Like she
I
was a
think
little,
she was trying to stop herself from falling back.
yeah, but she was fighting more ferociously. But yeah, Alexa Bliss DDT, which is her finish.
Mhm.
Interestingly, a DDT is her finish. Okay, it's cool. But yeah, she got Bayley, and yeah, Bayley, man, I don't know what they got to change her up or something. They lost the tag titles, and it's like now she lost to Alexa. What is she gonna do? Like, I don't know, to be honest with you. And then, did you like the match, Alexa Bliss, Bayley?
I liked the. It was quick, but I liked the ferocity of it. Right. The only thing I didn't enjoy was they spent too much time working in that far front corner. Right. Where it was like
Mhm.
turnbuckle into a turnbuckle move into another turnbuckle move. I got where
Yeah.
the spot was going. Um, what I didn't like, I like to see that Alexa Bliss was back and that she's showing the world I am a wrestler first, right?
Hmm.
I have speculated on a shoulder injury because of the way they weren't using her, and I think she rushed to come back to the Rumble because she wanted a good showing in the Rumble. She didn't want to miss a second Rumble in a row. She couldn't compete in the first one because she was champ. I don't like what they did to Bayley. I think Bayley deserves better than that. And if you're gonna send anybody out to get squashed by Alexa Bliss, there's a woman called Dana Brooke that could have did the job just fine.
You got a good point there.
You know what I mean? Could have sent out the Riot Squad, even though they're both quote unquote heels. Um, Candice LeRae could have caught an ass whooping. You know what I mean?
Or Alexa could have cheated to win.
Or Alexa could have cheated to win. Bayley
You know?
Bayley doesn't look bad. It's a good 5 minute back and forth. So many other ways that could have went, but I'll take the light out of it. I'll take the one good thing. Alexa Bliss is back, and if she wrestles again next week, 2 weeks after the Superstar Shakeup, if Alexa Bliss is back in competition, then Alexa Bliss is back. If we don't see her wrestle again after squashing Bayley for a month or two, there's gonna be another rant.
We're waiting. We are waiting for that. So, a good match, which, like I said, Alexa Bliss and Bayley could be. I think it was fine. Maybe a little bit. It was short, but I mean, I don't know. But you want to know what a really good match was? First off, Sami Zayn comes back, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they don't do the whole, hit the music, pop, pow. They show him on the screen backstage first, and I popped. I was like, Sami Zayn, yes. And then he comes out and he wrestles Finn Balor, and it was a really good match.
It was a really good match.
Uh, I'm glad to see Sami Zayn back. He's he's fine. He's in the ring. He's back. He looks great. I love watching this guy wrestle. He could tell such a good story in the ring. I love watching his storytelling. It's just I'm so excited for what he's got in store. And he actually, I believe he got on the mic and he said, "It sounds like you guys missed me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't miss you." And cuts the heel promo. And then on SmackDown, he even came out and was like, went to the stage and was like, "You're not worth it," and then turned around and walked out. Like, oh, punk ass man. But yeah, Sammy's back. It's good times. Again, I'm excited for the Superstar Shakeup.
You know when
Uh,
Sami Zayn won me over? You're probably gonna think this is ridiculous. I was going back and watching older matches of guys, and remember the very first mixed match tag where he was with Becky Lynch?
mm-hmm.
You know when he really won me over, where I popped and I laughed my ass off? When they lost to Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss. And Becky's like, where were you? Supposed to have my back. And he goes, he's big. He threw me out.
Oh man.
Oh, man. It's fucking hilarious. I laughed my ass off because what are you going to say? You know what I mean? That was the
Right.
perfect answer in kayfabe. He was like, what do you mean I didn't have your back? He's big. He's huge. He threw me out. He threw me into the crowd.
Dude, you want to talk about huge?
Lars Sullivan, dude.
He finally came back. Well, he finally made his because we all know he left because of those issues, but he finally made his official debut. So he comes out on Monday Night Raw. First off, Baron Corbin comes out, Brooklyn's favorite son. He makes his way to the ring. He starts cutting promo. He's, you know what, for what it is, everything that happened with him beating Angle, he's doing his job right now, making people hate him. Everyone hates his guts. He's getting booed, whatever, you know. Kurt comes out. I wish you all the luck. Haha, bad luck. Angle slam. You suck. Ha 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 ha. And then dun dun dun. And then here comes Lars freaking Sullivan and freak accident to Kurt Angle. So here's the thing. I want to talk about Lars, and we didn't mention this at the end of SmackDown. I saved it for now. So now that he's here, he destroyed Kurt, which honestly, I don't know. I maybe not. He didn't have to do all that, but I'm okay. I wasn't really cool with that, but I was actually cool. I could have gone without that if they could just cancel that segment and then save it for, because at the end of the Hardys title win, that's when he came back out and he destroyed the Hardys, and that was reminiscent of Brock Lesnar. Yeah, when he debuted and destroyed the Hardys. So it was really cool. It would have been a great way, because it was such a big moment. Like, you think about it, with all the celebrations happening and all the happy moments, that would have been a happy thing for the Hardys. And then him to actually make his debut and destroy them. But you know, he destroyed Kurt. He looked really cool. His trunks do not look cool. They look cheap. They look like this is his first gear. Someone said that. I heard that on a podcast. It's first gear that has ever been made in wrestling.
It was bad. It was bad. He looked like he got them from like the Ivan Putski closet.
Right. But that's not the worst thing. The worst thing was actually supposed to be the best thing. And combatants, everyone who's listening, now is the time where we talk about the main event and the opening of the Raw after WrestleMania. The most exciting part of the night, the most exciting Raw of the year. We always know the Raw after WrestleMania is crazy. Everyone from around the world, they're here and they're ready, and they just want to play with beach balls and shit all over really, really good matches again, like Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, and they shit all over it. Okay, whatever. So Raw starts, and here comes Seth Rollins. He slayed the beast. It's all great. He's cutting a promo. We're all happy. And out comes Kofi Kingston, and he goes to the ring, and I was like, whoa. And he's like, hey, buddy, it's not Tuesday. What are you doing? And he was like, hey, I'm here, and I want to challenge you.
That was pretty funny when he said,
he was like, I watched the main event of WrestleMania and seen the winner take all match, and I think that's a really good idea. How about we do that tonight? And I was like, oh, shit. And he didn't even think it's the Raw after WrestleMania, right? So in my mind, I'm like, they're not going to fuck us. This is going to be awesome. This is huge. So it was a great moment. It was a great segment. Ready there, and then they build it up throughout the episode, and then we talked about all the other stuff, and then we get to the main event. We got Kofi Kingston versus Seth Rollins, winner take all. This is, and honestly, with the Undertaker coming out, and even with Becky Lynch, and Sami Zayn even returning, some of these things that were happening, it was kind of still giving that good feel of This is huge. But it all got ruined in one moment because the match between Kofi Kingston started and Seth Rollins started, and I could tell you it started. I knew it was gonna. I started knowing something was gonna happen because they started going for their finishers early, and I was like, "Here we go." So for some stupid unknown reason, I'm going to go ahead and let my homeboy Adonis over here take us to the end of Raw and to the beginning of this new segment that we're going to call the Rant.
All right, combatants. I'm about to be very combative. The bar interrupt the winner take all main event for no reason at all. Not one. Didn't say, hey, you know, we're tired of, you know, come out, cut a promo. Hey, we're sick of you guys, you know, being full of yourselves, or you guys think you're champ, you think you guys are that good, we're gonna beat you. Nothing. They just come out, start throwing kicks and punches, get Seth disqualified because they attacked. Seth gets in the ring, issues a challenge, now becomes a tag team match. And the tag team who has chemistry gets beat by two guys who have never wrestled together. All right, look. I may not be as well versed and educated in wrestling as most of the people watching or who have subscribed to this channel, but I am well versed and I am not fucking stupid. All right? You make me sit through 8 hours of WrestleMania, which is nobody's fault. I chose to do that. You build all these things, we get all these feel-good moments. Last week's Raw, I gave a 4.5 star. I actually thought that this was going to lead into a great WrestleMania, which was going to open up the books for great new shows. And what you did, and you know, I got to jump on this real quick because I'm going to touch on it. I know the nerds are out there right now screaming, but it's the Superstar Shakeup. There's two more, you know, you can't do much. Superstar Shakeup is coming. You can't really dedicate. Bullshit. If I could dedicate 3 hours of my life to sitting in front of this TV, right, you can give me a good show. And if you're gonna do a Superstar Shakeup, start it the day after WrestleMania, so we can get it out of the way, and I can go back to enjoying wrestling. Right now, I'm not enjoying wrestling. Right? Give me Lacey Evans coming out here, strutting up and down, up. For what? For what? She hasn't done shit. And now she's in. We were back. Cool, Becky, somebody different who isn't she on Charlotte doesn't deserve the Rousey. Period. Right? That Bayley being squashed by Alexa Bliss, who hasn't wrestled in months. Months. Right? You kill Becky's cat, you kill Bayley, right? Lars Sullivan, great. You know, another big man comes out, beats up on a crippled old Kurt Angle, right? In shitty shorts. He looked like a god. Look, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to do this. I don't have patience. I don't. I really, really don't have patience, right? And if people out there who don't watch wrestling would have watched WrestleMania then the night after, the beyond casual fan, they'd laugh at us for liking wrestling. They'd be like, oh, they fell for this bullshit. Last night this one was so crying over beating this one, and now they don't even mention it today. Like, there's so much going wrong right now with how Raw is being run that honestly, I'm giving them 4 weeks. After the Superstar Shakeup, 6 weeks from today, mark it on your calendars. If they don't improve shit, this is going to become a SmackDown breakdown. I'm not even going to talk about Raw. If my brother and my partner in crime, JB3, feels the need that he would like to talk about it, have all the time. I'll sit here quietly and mind my business. But as a person whose time is valuable to himself, and time is money, and you can't get an hour back, I spent 3 hours of my life watching a shitty show after you made me sit there and watch 8 hours of a mediocre WrestleMania. Yeah, I said it. It was mediocre. Kofi had his moment. Becky had her moment. Great. The Triple H match sucked. I didn't care about the tag team match from SmackDown. Didn't give a shit. You know why? Because you didn't build it. Rey Mysterio got squashed because he was hurt. Like, I didn't care. Make me fucking care. Because if you don't make me care, I'm going to come on this show every week and I'm going to shit on it. I'm going to shit on your product. I'm going to wipe my ass with your posters. I'm going to order t-shirts just to take pisses on them. That's what I'm going to do. This guy right here, I'm going to order t-shirts and I'm going to wipe my ass. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come here and I'm going to with every t-shirt I come across. That's what I'm going to do. Sorry I had to get that off my chest. I was happy.
I mean, you ain't doing nothing different than what they're already doing. I mean, they're already shitting all over their own product.
I really want to enjoy it. And it's almost like they want us to not like their shit. So when they do one thing right, like fucking idiots, we pop for it. What are we popping for? Are we popping for the things we like? Do we really like the things we're popping for? Or are we popping because finally somebody's doing something interesting when it should have always been done interesting?
You know what the answer truly is? It's going to get to a point where ain't no show, ain't no breakdown, ain't no podcast going to be able to do anything. The only thing that we're going to be able to do in the long run is cancel that damn network and stop watching. And hey, if Raw keeps doing what they're doing, it might not happen. But shit, in the past 4 years, it's already happened to over 1 million people.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know.
I don't know.
Superstar shakeup could be exciting.
I'm looking. You know what? I'm looking forward to that. I think they showed their hand a little bit, like with Drew McIntyre showing up on SmackDown.
Yeah, I can see that.
Let's see where they go. I honestly think, in my opinion, there's not going to be too many major splits as far as tag teams or as far as factions go. I don't think they're going to split the New Day up.
I hope not.
And if they do, gonna have another rant segment.
We'll have to have another rant segment.
I'm gonna lose my shit. I really am. I'm gonna lose my shit.
Well, it should be exciting. Next week's gonna be a really it should be a really filled show. I can see a lot of new things happening. Like, it's getting to the point where I think the WWE don't care about these shows. They know they got the people coming. They know that the fans that are there, and you can partially even blame them, because they know that the fans that are sitting in the stands, they know the fans are going to start doing the fucking wave, and then they're going to be fucking playing with beach balls, and they're going to just not even be paying attention. And it reminds me of that time on 205 Live when Akira Tozawa was doing a senton from the top rope all the way through the table on the outside of the ring, and they showed 3 fans looking at their phone while it was happening. Like, they are putting their bodies on the line. And you got these fans at these big shows, and they think that they own it, which, granted, they're buying tickets and they're having fun. That's the thing. That's true. Have your fun. But it gets to the point where it's like, what are you here for? Why did you buy a ticket? Like, I know you want to have fun, but this is wrestling. Like, we're supposed to be wanting to watch wrestling. They don't do that shit. They didn't do that shit at All In. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that shit in other indie shows or these other shows that they have, these big ass shows, the New Japan shows in the Tokyo Dome. They don't ever do that shit. They don't fucking throw beach balls and shit and throw everything all over the place. They don't do none of that.
You know what it is? Because New Japan, Ring of All In, those are for the hardcores. Those are true wrestling fans.
But is it WrestleMania for the hardcores?
Yeah, but WWE has become the mainstream sports entertainment.
Well, yeah, I know that.
If you have hear me out. If you have, and I'm not defending the people, I'm just giving you metrics. hypothetically, you have 10,000 people in an arena at WWE. We'll just use 1,000 number. 7 or 2,000 are of right. The other 2,000 people are just there because somebody said, "Hey, you want to go watch wrestling with me?" Or, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool to go watch wrestling? You want to go watch wrestling? Sure, let's get some tickets." They don't care.
Right.
Or bump that up to 15,000 people where most basketball arenas hold, right? You have those same 8,000, 7 of them are kids, who are there to see their hero, the parents of said kids. Another 2,000 are guys like me and you that are happy to be there and, oh shit, did you see that spot? Did you see him jump off of this? And then the other 5,000 are people who don't care. They're there because it was something for them to do. Somebody gave them tickets. Their company said, "Hey, do your sons and friends watch wrestling? We got tickets. I'm not going to go. Give them to your kids." "Hey, Bobby, do you want to go see wrestling with your buddies?" "Sure." Calls his buddies. "Hey, let's get a beach ball and some beers and pregame out in the parking lot and go watch this stupid WWE. I don't like WWE. Hey, so what? It's free. I got tickets. Let's go." That's what your other 3,000 people.
I mean, yeah, maybe on a regular episode of Raw, but you're talking about the Raw after WrestleMania. And for the past 3 or 4 years, okay, they've been this way. I mean, shit, last year, was it, or the year before that, Cesaro had to hop in the crowd and rip up a beach ball. Like, they're shitting all over the crowd. Like, here's the thing, but like I said, the fans are going to do what they want. It can make me mad. It can make you mad. It can make anyone mad. But it also lets the WWE know that on these shows, they can do whatever the fuck they want. And the fans are just going to be whatever. They're just going to be whatever. CM Punk chants all day long. Sure, whatever.
Okay. But take pride in your own fucking product. You have to take pride in your own product. Because
I hope they do, but they're not.
If me and you right now were doing a live show, right, and we were sitting down in front of a crowd of 1,000, 2,000 people, we're on stage, we're having the same conversation in a live show. And people are bouncing a ball around. You know why they're bouncing that ball? Because we're fucking boring.
Right.
And guess what? When Cesaro and the Bar came out and they were kicking a beach ball around, it's to do 2 things. 1, to piss off Cesaro because they know it bothers him. And 3, because they're bored. You know why they're bored? Because you offered me a winner-take-all match and ruined it with the Bar. So guess what? I'm about to go blow up my beach ball and slap it around too.
Right, but dude, they were doing it with the Ricochet match. Like, what did Ricochet and Aleister Black do? Right. They were having a good match.
This is where our dynamic works, because you speak from the hardcore aspect and I'm speaking from the casual aspect. And guess what? I'm tired of seeing Aleister Black flip around show after show, tag team match, same spots. He jumps over the corner. I've seen it for the last 6 weeks. Show me something different. They haven't. And they haven't even, they gave them 18 tag championship matches. They never won one. So now you want me to give a shit that Ricochet and Aleister Black are flipping around again? Why? Because they came out with Ali in his hand gloves? I don't give a shit. I don't care. You know why? Because you didn't give me a reason to care. You keep force feeding me the same fucking product week in and week out, except that you subtract the Revival and plug in Chad and Gable. Or you subtract Chad and Gable and plug in, I don't know, the Revival. Or who the other ones? See, I don't even know their names. You know why? Because I don't give a shit.
But that's the whole full circle thing around it. The WWE's doing it because they know that the crowd don't give a shit, and the crowd are not giving a shit because the WWE don't know how to put out a good product, and they're not caring about it. So these episodes of Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania, in my opinion, are just pointless, non-canon bullshit, even though they have title changes and stuff like that. It don't make a difference to me. When I was watching Raw and SmackDown, I didn't care. And it was because I knew the shakeup was next week. Everyone knows the shakeup is next week. Like, it's not the same. They didn't like use this as a draft. They use this now as just some punk ass episode because they know everyone's going to be there. They can do whatever they want. Dude, last year they had a WWE 24 special for the Raw after WrestleMania. Like, it's getting to the point, like, WWE has taken the Raw after WrestleMania and they made it this thing to where it doesn't mean anything anymore, just like they do to NXT talent when they organically get over in NXT and then they come up and the WWE's trash it. You know, everyone this Raw after WrestleMania phenomenon started organically like 5 or 6 years ago. Everyone started noticing. They were like, shit, this Raw is nuts. Mm-hmm. And then when the WWE took notice, that's why their product is going to be shitty. They don't care. And that's why they did that shit. They're going to just imagine. Okay. And there's someone being stupid. Someone is. Because just imagine if they had that match. Imagine if they had that match. Winner takes all. Kofi Kingston versus Seth Rollins. And they gave them 30 minutes. And they had a classic. Just this barn-burning classic. And it ends up ending in like a double count out. Maybe double count out in the ring where they can keep their titles. Mm-hmm. But they put on an absolute classic. The feeling would be different. It would be great. I would have loved that Raw. They could have continued with the Superstar Shakeup next week. It would have been cool. Yeah, but for some reason, they're trying to continue on with feuds that might possibly make no sense because we don't know. And it's what it goes back to what you were saying. They're kind of they're giving us a sneak preview or something of the Superstar Shakeup. You know, of like, you know, Drew McIntyre on SmackDown, like that, and they didn't have to do that. So I don't know. It really gets on my nerves. Mm-hmm. That gets on my nerves. And I bring up the NXT thing because, hey, look it out. You got people who don't care about Aleister Black and Ricochet. Now, are they going to get ruined by WWE? Because I guarantee you one thing right now: anyone who watched them in an NXT would be, you want to watch their match with the War Raiders at NXT TakeOver. You want to talk about a tag team classic match? You want to talk about someone going out and going out and turning, like blowing it out of the water? That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. The WWE don't give a shit, dude. It goes back to what you were ranting on about Raw. They just don't care. And quite frankly, I've been thinking about the same thing you've been thinking about for a long time now. You got other promotions that have great matches. And I might NXT plays on Hulu. Mm-hmm. I got Hulu and I love NXT. So I don't need the network. Not really. So give us some time. If we don't get what we want, I tell you right now, if they don't get what we want, everything might get shut down. I might shut all the shit down. Everything might get shut down. The network gets shut down. Fucking the podcast gets shut down. The whole Wrestling Trivia Network just get burned all the way down to the ground because it ain't gonna make no sense. We're gonna be We're gonna be doing wrestling trivia, and in 10 years from now, when we're doing the wrestling trivia, all the shit that's happening now, everybody's gonna be like, "What the fuck were they doing?"
Mm-hmm. Telling you, man. Max Holloway fights Dustin Poirier this weekend. That's going to be a good fight, and it's real. Vince McMahon can't fuck that up.
No, he can't.
Nah, but, you know, I know we screaming right now, and it comes from a place of we give a shit. Like, we want to care, you know? And what are we doing here? What are we doing? You know, give us something to talk about. Give us something to be. This is the first time that we've had show notes, brother. That literally, I have 4 lines of show notes. 4 lines.
Nothing worth talking about. And yeah, but we could sit there, combatants, and go through every single aspect of Raw and every single aspect of SmackDown. And I guarantee you're going to thank us tomorrow morning because you're going to fall asleep and have the best night of sleep that you've ever had because it's going to be boring as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only things worth mentioning is the big moments, the things that we think and that you think, well, you will remember. Nobody's gonna fucking remember Bobby Roode. Like you said, they're good wrestlers, but nobody's gonna remember the Bobby Roode, Chad Gable versus Aleister Black and Ricochet match from the Raw after WrestleMania 35. No one will remember that.
Nope.
So why should we talk about it?
Exactly. Why? Because there were a lot of good, clean spots, and it was a technical masterpiece. Great.
Right, have Aleister turn on Ricochet and then have them feud and have a singles match. Give them 25 minutes at a pay-per-view, and then have something happen. We'll talk about it then.
I don't know. Something. Super. Hopefully, it does exactly what it's meant to do. Shake things up. Get us some new faces in new places, some new feuds. Build ups, move some tag teams around, start rebuilding the Raw tag team titles. I think the SmackDown tag scene is decent. Could do with maybe moving the Revival over there. A lot of ideas, but things have to change. And once again, stop squashing your talent. Stop squashing the really good ones, because what's going to end up happening is 3 words are going to come creep up on you. Not even 3 words, 3 letters. AEW, man.
And AEW, they know what they're doing, because SmackDown's going to be moving to Friday nights later this fall. They're going
to Tuesdays.
Yep, when SmackDown leaves Tuesdays, they're going to keep that momentum and put their show on Tuesdays, and it's going to keep people in the routine of watching episodes of stuff on Tuesdays. But with that being said, I don't have anything else to say about Raw. I don't have anything else to say about SmackDown. I'm going to watch NXT tonight. I'll probably watch the NXT breakdown with Mr. Hunter that he will release at some point on Thursday, I'm guessing. Thank you, Hunter, for plugging our show. We have no problem plugging your show, because you're our buddy, you're our pal, and you're our friend.
And we love you. All right, Raw, 1 to 5. 1 being and 5 being yay.
I'm gonna say Raw is gonna be a 5, psych 1. I do that because that's what they did to us, because we thought it was going to be great, and then they psyched us out with that bullshit ending. And I can't give it a 1. Let me go ahead and just give it a 2.5, right down the middle, just because there was some okay stuff. I'm not going to hate on everything. There was some cool stuff, but for the most part, it was trash. I'll go ahead and cut them a little loose with a 2.5.
1.7. I ain't cutting nobody loose. I ain't being nice. I'm only giving it a 1.7 because Undertaker, seeing Alexa Bliss wrestle again. It's good to see Sami Zayn. I didn't care about the rest. 1.7.
1.7.
Yep. So 3.2 SmackDown, 1.7 Raw. For 5 hours of my life, you get an average of a 2.6 over here.
And just imagine, WrestleMania was longer than your average Raw, SmackDown, NXT 205 Live combined. We got a week's worth of wrestling in one sitting with WrestleMania.
Wow. Yo, where can the good people find you, JB3?
Well, you can look me up on Facebook if you just want to be my friend. It's James Walter Berryman III. And guys, I can't stress it enough. Do not spell out the third. It will not get you anywhere. Please be like Kurt Angle, 3 eyes. And you can also catch me right here on the Combat Wrestling Network doing combat wrestling trivia absolutely annihilating everyone that stands in my way. And they've been sleeping on me. Just pay attention. Watch any match. No one's going to mention my name. They're not going to mention me. They're not going to mention who I am, especially not the champion. Not going to mention who I am because they're not even going to know.
Nope, nobody's going to talk about you, man.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to break them up off something because they can read the books and study the sites all day long. But you don't watch 30 years of wrestling for nothing.
Nope, there you
You
go.
don't watch these bullshit episodes of Raw and SmackDown for nothing.
I'm watching them for nothing. Fuck my life.
So combatants, you can ignore me, but you won't forget me when you get destroyed.
And as for me, you can find me depressed in my room. Yeah. Now you can find me here on the Combat Wrestling Network or at Facebook at Adonis Nazario. You can find me on Multiplex, Fandom Fights, and 12 to 6 Elbow, like I said, is coming real soon. The JB3 AD Nasty show is also coming real soon, where we're going to talk about a little bit of everything outside of wrestling, combat sports, general, pop culture shit sometimes, whatever crosses our mind. Me and JB3 like to run our mouths, and who better to run your mouth through than one of your friends, right?
Exactly.
All right. For AD Nasty JB3, this has been, I want to call it the Raw and SmackDown breakdown, but did we really break anything down, show?
I don't know. In fact, combatants, if you want to join the show as a co-host and you want to break down a nothing episode of Raw and SmackDown, just let Nico Suave Rigoli know. And we'll be here. We can talk about it, man.
Yep. Also, if you have different feelings than us, put your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. Let all your people know. Yeah. We're here. We're there. We're everywhere. JB3, my brother, we out this thing. Dude.